What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This one here, we have an interesting one for you. NewsNation, Ross Coulthart is being asked questions from the people again, and one of the questions is about the dog whistle. What are the frequencies that they are using to call the UFO phenomenon? It has a 100% success rate, supposedly, and also they also talk about how is death and humans related to the phenomenon as well. So, kind of a creepy topic. It's a controversial topic. And there's also a random X user out there that claims that he knows the frequency for this dog whistle. He posted the frequency listing on X, and we put it in ChatGPT. We'll check it out later in the video. So stick around to the end so you can see what that's all about. And you guys like, subscribe, share with your friends.
All right, next we have a question from Suburban Gorilla 5515. Now, Russ, he's going to reference here the dog whistle, which, viewers, you'll recall, Jake said in our last episode they had a 100% effectiveness when they did this out on the range. His question, curious thought, why does the dog whistle work? Why would NHI curiously respond to this on demand? Can't resist, Pavlovian behavior, anxious to interact.
That is the $1 billion question. I have no idea, and I wish I knew the answer. I don't think they know the answer. What they do know, though, and I think this has been observed at Skinwalker Ranch as well, is that there are certain frequencies that seem to attract the phenomenon. I don't know. I have no idea. It's interesting because I think if we all knew that, I think there'd be a lot of very annoying humans playing the same frequency and trying to attract the phenomenon. So I can guess that's probably why there's a degree of secrecy about exactly what the frequencies are and the manner in which they're transmitted. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know the answer to that. And it's a question I'm also asking. What is interesting is if you watch the Skinwalker Ranch series, and I'm not saying that the 1.6 gigahertz frequency is the one that's used for the dog whistle, but in Skinwalker Ranch, they often talk about how they're detecting a frequency from the phenomenon at 1.6 gigahertz. And I do wonder what the connection is. I think this is such a new area of science. And isn't it tragic, though, that, here we are, we're going through this as a story right now. There is a company that has proven very convincingly that they are able to show a correlation between the use of a dog whistle 100% of the time and weird anomalous phenomena turn up and show themselves in broad daylight on camera. Now, I happen to think that's a major story, and we've been covering it very aggressively at NewsNation because it's a very, very important story. It could be the moment that humanity realizes definitively we are not alone. I, for the life of me, do not understand why major newspapers like the New York Times, the Washington Post, TV networks like CBS, NBC, ABC, PBS, why are they not engaging with this subject matter? Why is legacy media failing? Ask yourself. They're failing because they're not covering stories like this that we all want told. I think this is a major story. I think what Skywatcher has discovered is, whatever happens with it, groundbreaking. It's extraordinary. They have already, on a preliminary basis, and as they rightly say, there are 6 levels of proof that they want to go through, but they're at the point now where they're attempting further scientific verification and getting close to the possibility of securing independent, objective scientific verification. At what point does the rest of the scientific community and the legacy media get on board and go, wow, this is a discovery. This is really important, guys. This is the thing that I find most disconcerting about this is you're not going to see or hear about this on mainstream media. Why? Why is this issue being suppressed in mainstream media? That, to me, is the big issue.
All right, Ross, we will go to the next question from Zach Champeau. Hey, Ross, really loved your episode with Jake and Matt. Truly amazed at what Skywatcher is already accomplishing. The question here is, do you get the impression that there is knowledge in these programs pertaining to afterlife or continuation of consciousness after physical human death that is being kept from the public? If this is so, it would be really interesting to learn whether they have a means of communicating with a specific person who has passed on, given they're willing to communicate with them at all at that point.
Wow, this is a controversial area, of course, but yes, short answer. I had a meeting earlier this week with a guy who has had close encounter experiences where he believes he's been abducted. And in the course of my conversation with him, he told me that he also had an encounter with a spirit of a dead person who'd been murdered. And it was quite chilling because after the fact, I went away and I corroborated certain aspects of what he told me from independent news reports from the time that he was describing. Quite chilling to see that. I do think whatever the phenomenon is, it's too simplistic to describe it as extraterrestrials, little green aliens from the planet Zug, chugging from Zeta Reticuli at warp speed 5, for X hundred years to get to planet Earth and probe humans. I mean, I actually think it's more interesting than that. I do think that there is a distinct possibility that at the heart of all of this is it's also going to answer the ultimate question of what we are as humans. Are we merely meat robots, biological computers, where whatever our consciousness is, it resides in our brains and it dies when we die? Or is our consciousness part of something bigger? And do all humans, whether we realize it or not, have the ability to plug into a non-local consciousness? And could that explain how it is that people are able to allegedly communicate with the dead or people who are not of this realm? That's an area I'm going down right now. It's funny, when I first got into this subject, I read Leslie Kane's excellent book about surviving death. And I was puzzled as to why Leslie had gone into the area of the afterlife when she'd been covering the UFO subject. And why did she write this excellent book on UFOs and then go on to the subject of the human spirit and spiritualism and the idea of human bodies surviving death? Now I understand the two are inextricably linked. And I'm on this journey as much as you guys are. I'm excited, really excited by what I get in the way of information on a daily basis.
All right. This guy next says he knows the formula for the dog whistle to summon UAP. So that sounds like a wild plane. But just so we're clear up front, there's no confirmed or scientific basis for a dog whistle frequency that summons UAPs. I know. Oh, let's put it in there for him. See what it says. All right, Anthony, I created your UAP dog whistle. Sounds based on Jason Wall's formula. It includes all the elements he described. Modulated something resonance 528 hertz, harmonic 17 kilohertz, ultrasonic pings, yeah, whatever. Creature like chirps, ambient pad, and organic white noise, breath layer. Download UAP. You can download it here. Play it low volume as suggested, and let me know if anything visits. All right. It's downloading somewhere.
This is the sound? UAP dog whistle signal. Huh. Okay. All right, guys, that's it for that one there. Let me know what you guys thought about the dog whistle, right? Bunch of bullshit. You asked me, and it's bullshit. I didn't do any research on this, but I'm pretty sure that the human ears can't even hear a dog whistle, and that's not even at the same frequency as the supposed UFO dog whistle that they're using to call the phenomena down. So the fact that we could even hear it, to me, tells me it's a bunch of BS. Anyways, guys, we're going to be exploring some different content. This channel is and always will be a UFO fact-driven YouTube channel. We started it that way. We're going to continue that process. So stick around for your UFO content. Whatever comes my way is always going to go towards you. And I'm going to try to get it to you as fast as possible. Like I said, I do work a full-time job. Sometimes it's a bit challenging, but we're going to do the best we can to make sure that you guys get that as soon as possible. And also, the other avenues that we're planning on exploring too is cryptids and the paranormal. Let me know if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, but that's the direction we're going to be going. They're going to be kind of fillers for the times that we're not getting the UFO content, so be on the lookout for that stuff as well. You guys like, subscribe, share with your friends, all of that good stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.